I think that all of this whole impulse move up, I think all of this is just a liquidity grab. They're like, let's just get as many people participating as possible, get them through this earnings season, and then get them all high off hopium, and then just shoot it back down. I mean, I think there's way more to go. I think that, and I agree with you. This is one of the strongest head and shoulders patterns that I've seen anywhere, right? This on the weekly, and I think that we need to come back and take some of this demand up, right? There's still some leftover demand in here in this area, and so I think that we should try to clear all that up and get it all gone so that we can raise the demand, right? Just bring it up higher. Obviously, we always joke about betting against the economy, but we want everything to do well, obviously. But while it goes down, let's capitalize. And if we get this pullback into this area and we can work our way back up, then that would be extremely nice for 2021. And if we can break down below this area here at 3705, right, and get back into like this area here at 3240s down here, there might be some leftover demand. If you look over to the left, there's it tapped this area. It didn't really. Actually, let's look at the weekly before I put my foot in my mouth. Let's see. Draw my line back here because this is what I'm looking at. And let's do 1 week. Might even have to go 1 month. All right, let's see. So on the weekly, okay. All right, so we're in the weekly on ES, and there was some aggressive buying in this area here, and I'm not gonna go into the daily on this, but it's right there. I like how and these are weeks, so we put in some big bull weeks here, sold off, stepped back into this supply zone, right? There's a supply zone right here, so we came back into the supply zone, and then we sold back off, and then it flew up. I'm sure there was a catalyst on this day that made it move so high, right? Because the next day we gapped up, we tested previous resistance, and then we just ran, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks before we got to where we are now. So I think that if we get something into this zone here, then that's nice for 2021. I think if we get something down here, then I think that we'll have a nice stretch in the next bull market. So, I'm not saying it's like a 2020 or 2021 environment, but I think that especially for all of us who have been trading in this past 6 months, 8 months, actually this entire year, if you've been consistently trading and kind of, not like stepping away, I mean, and stepping away is fine, but if you've been in tune with the market for the past 6 months, and especially like with SPX and SPY and QQQ, IWM, I think that you're going to benefit when it turns back into, because this is still technically a bull market. Like just look left and look at where we've come from. Like obviously this pullback is nice and healthy for us. So, but hopefully we get down here. We get down here and there's going to be a lot of stuff on sale, like Apple, right? And I'm loading. If it ever gets down here, I'm loading Apple. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and leave a note on my chart to load Apple once it gets down here. This is my load Apple level. Load Apple. Load all tech, right? All tech. Load all tech, and we're gonna set this to the right so I can just forget about it. All right. So so on tonight's segment, there's a few things that I want to discuss. Do I have it in an order? Where's my order? Is it this way? Okay. So I want to go through our daily rituals. Practicing daily rituals is one of the best methods to achieve great focus. Right? Whether you run in the morning, those walks that you take your dog, your drive to work, however you do your commute, maybe your morning coffee, whatever it is, there's things that you do that you don't think about anymore, right? So when you free up that brain power by just systematizing and repeating it every single day, you can do it with your eyes closed. So you have more power in your brain in order to process higher level things, such as all of the things that take our money in the market, right? And all the things that make us money in the market. So I think it's very important to have daily rituals, period. And I think that, and guys, if you're on this, then you wanna chop it up, you can obviously unmute your mic. Or if you guys want to chat, you can chat in the study hall channel. Let's see. I'm gonna tag at here. And So I'm gonna let you guys in on a quick little gem, or a piece of news actually. So for the next, I want to say maybe this next quarter, study hall is gonna become a preview of a course that I'm building, and so I want you guys to help me build my course. So we're gonna do that during study hall hours, and we're gonna go through some stuff that you guys obviously know, and then some stuff that you might not be so comfortable with. And so I would appreciate you guys' help with that. So anybody who's on here, make it to study hall, and you'll learn, and you're gonna get my course essentially for free, and you have direct input, which will be greatly appreciated. And there's a bonus for every level that you for every study hall that you go to. It's like a loyalty card, right? Once you get to a certain amount, I guess I haven't decided yet. I'll announce it soon. But once you get there, there'll be a small prize at the end of it. So everybody that's on here, I take notice, and we appreciate you as a community. And you should appreciate yourself for taking the time to to invest in yourself, and because obviously we all have busy lives, and so to give the market some extra time, and really to give your finances some extra time, I think is crucial. And I'm happy that you guys are here with me. So let's get into it. So as you know, some of these trades demand a higher level of focus and attention than others, right? There's a couple of trades like SPX obviously takes all your attention all day. You need, like, sometimes I don't even get up to use the bathroom because I'm I'm mid trade and I got to get out, right? So I like daily rituals. I think that what you do every day defines who you are, right? So who do you want to become, right? What does that version of you require you to do on a daily basis? So this is you. This is you in a year. This is you in 5 years. This is you in 10 years. You got to give it thought. You have to write it down. If you write it with pen and paper, it's more powerful. And keep it somewhere where you can see it every day. I have my vision board right in front of me, and I'll read some words from my vision board, right? I'll read some quick words. So I see, I thank God. I see game changer. I see the homeowner. I see make my family proud. Celestial being. 5 to 9 is greater than 9 to 5. Change the future. He advises clients. Inside outside living. Capital improvement. A house in New York City. Business meets pleasure. Casa tranquila, which means calm house or calm home. And then what else? What else? I see secure the bag. And then there's one that says trade options, like you went to school for it. And then there's one that says we took risks and had fun. And then I have pictures of like properties and a couple of ideas for some properties that I have either in the works or that I want in the future. And then I have a bunch of pictures of watches because I love watches. So who do you want to become? Think about it. Like, actively give it thought. Right, people are kind of floating by in space, and I don't mean to get existential, but for the little grain of sand that we are to the entire universe, like, and you get to do this shit every day. This shit is awesome. Like, this is just a massive blessing, right? For you to be able to participate in this market with this community, right? With us, and learning and changing your future and potentially your kids' future, right, etc. So you have your reason why you're in it. But anyway, who do you want to become? If you are who you wanted to become last year, who do you want to become next year, in the next 6 months, right? So take the exercise. If you already do it, then awesome, keep it going. If not, just give it 5 minutes before you go to sleep. Write down a recap of your day. Write down what you want your next day to look like before you go to sleep. And then when you wake up, read it. And then maybe you can read it throughout the day. And then I bet you that your day will manifest exactly as you wrote it. So let's get into the quick section. So the first one is watch list review. We're going to talk about sector heat maps. We're going to talk about top constituents of those sectors, with what Frank mentioned the other day about looking for laggards in a sector. I think today. Was that today, Frank? It was AMD, and I think it was, or maybe it was yesterday. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah. And then you have your personal watch list, right? So you want to pick 2 stocks. And we'll talk about all this: pre-market review, market recap, trade recap. So let's start with watch list review. So with watch list review, we have a sector heat map. Now, what I like to do is, and you know what? Before I get into this, I want to see you guys in the study hall channel. What's one thing that you do every single day that you can do with your eyes closed? Right? What's one ritual that you have that without fail, every single day, even maybe around the same time, that you partake in? Go ahead and put it in the study hall. And if you can't find the study hall, I'll write it. It won't let you. Hold on. I won't let you. Hold on, got you. Let me see. Let me see. Study hall. Edit. Permissions. Everyone. Blah, 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 blah. Send. Oh wow. Read message. Okay, you should be good now. Check. Go in the study hall. If you could write something in the study hall, put a one in the chat. Let's see. There you go. If you could write something up in the study hall, throw one in the chat. All right. Let's see. I see Mrs. Walter Bloomberg in the building. Shout out Mrs. Walter Bloomberg for keeping us up to date, up to the minute, up to the second on all the news. Let's see. Let's see. All right. So guys, let me know. One thing that you do every day that's damn near unconscious that you just that you do, and it could be as simple as brushing your teeth. It could be as simple as the type of the way you prepare your coffee or your tea. The type of breakfast you have. Maybe you take your dog for a walk. Just one thing that you do that you can turn your brain off for 30 seconds. Make a big pot of coffee, says Jagus. A big old pot of coffee to start the day. Let's see who else. Who else is in here? Take the dogs out. Latte on the deck. That sounds like a nice little morning session. Let's see. There's a few more names in here. I see Simply Alma in here. I see JD 19101. I see Carp Terry. The other Terry. There's two Terrys. Cool. What's up, Terrys? Let me see what you guys. Let me know what you guys do every single day. Just one thing, and it could be the simplest thing. I want the participation because I want you guys to, as you participate, you connect different synapses in your mind. And as you're taking in new information, those synapses it kind of sticks a little bit better. The information that you take in, and so it'll be very helpful if I have your participation, not only for me but for you as well. Come in the study hall channel. But Carb, you can also just you can go on the mic and say what you want to say if it's easier for you. Commute half asleep. I've been like, go ahead, Carb. Go to Trade Floor. I posted a link on. I posted a link on Trade Floor. You're welcome, Carp. These past 2 days, I was like, I couldn't stay awake all day. I've been having the worst sleep. I was telling Frank got like 2 hours of sleep last night. I don't even know how he did it today. I do not know how he did it. You're watching futures. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, I have to like, set boundaries for my day, otherwise I end up like falling down rabbit holes. Which is why the market is perfect for me, right? It's perfect for us. Let's see. I do say the most random things daily, so can't narrow it down. That's fine as long as you do one random act every single day. Then that's your ritual, and that's awesome. I met this guy once that he basically his ritual was to greet two random people in the street and give them a compliment every day. And also part of his ritual was to look in the mirror and tell himself, I'm going to greet two people today and pay them a compliment. And that was part of his ritual. Every day he would say it and every day he would do it for as long as I've known him. All right, anyway, so sector recap. And these things, some of these things we do now so that we can forget about, we don't have to think about it while we're in the middle of the trade. Everything that we do is so that we can prepare to be in the trade. That's the whole point of all of this, right? So sector heat map. So I usually use FinViz for this. Where's my FinViz? Here it is. So you go to finviz.com, finviz.com. It has really cool features such as daily movers, top gainers, a new high, overbought, unusual volume, upgrades, earnings before something, before market probably, insider buying, right? And then if you hover over the ticker, it gives you the chart, the daily chart, right? So a lot of these, it always gives you, these are usually like biotech or something with crazy catalysts. HKD's on here. It touched 20, how much? FinViz. What is the high on this candle? 25.55. HKD did today from $22 on July 18th. From $22 on July 18th to $2,555 today. So finviz.com, check it out. Maybe I'll do another session on just FinViz. From here we go to screener, or you can click on this heat map right here. and then it tells you you can kind of take an at a glance look at the market overall and see where the little green pockets were. Today, just looking at my screen, I see LMT, RTX, NOC. So aerospace and defense, that entire industry, it was moving based on the news that Nancy Pelosi would be traveling to Taiwan today, and so you could have played LMT. Let's look at LMT real quick. And LMT did how much? 2.2%, and it's trading at $400. So is this right? Where's my trading view at? Here it is. Okay. Let's look at LMT real quick. What I want to look for is, what I like to look for is what time of the day it made the move, right? And did it gap up or what was it? So pretty much it gapped up pre-market, and then it opened and it came back to support. And then from there, it made you, so it gave you the, it filled the gap over the overnight gap in the first couple of candles. And then it ran into the 100-day, this white line right here. So that's it. You're done. You just want to know what it did and where it went, right? Let's look at some of the other ones. Let's look at NOC. NOC made a similar move, same industry, pretty much the same move. No moving average, pushed it down. Right now it's underneath. Let's look at the daily. Right now it gapped up a couple days ago, and it's sitting above the 100, the 50, and the 20. And let me look at LMT on a daily real quick. LMT would be the laggard. LMT is above the 20, above the 50, above the 200, underneath the 100. NOC is above all of the major moving averages, and the 21 is about to cross, or the 20 is about to cross the 50 back to the upside. So like a nice little, a hopium version of a golden cross, right? And then we're running right into support over here. Let me turn the magnet off. We're running back into a resistance over here. Why am I on array? I need this, right? We're running back into a resistance there. So that's what that sector did today. I think this one, and then I'm not gonna look at the contracts because I don't really care that much. I don't trade that, and I probably wouldn't pick that as part of my watch list. Let's see what else. Medical devices. This company probably had news because the rest of the sector is not as green. Tesla being Tesla. Travel went crazy today. So let's look at this. Let's look at travel services. Can I click into it? I'm gonna have to go into. I don't have it here. Well, we can go like this. Where is it? Booking. Let's do booking. So I'll go here. So what I'm looking for is I want to look at an overview of that sector. So I'll go to booking, and I'll come over here and click travel services. Right? I'll do it again so you guys, maybe I went too fast. I go to whatever ticker, and then I see whatever sector they're in here, whatever part of the sector they're in, and I click on it. The sector would be consumer cyclical, but the industry is travel services. And most of these were green on the day. Let's look at this in a, how do I change a view on this? I haven't been on FinViz in a while. Snapshot, is that it? No, let's do charts. That's what I want. So this pretty much whole sector had a green day. So I'll come over here and I'll kind of look at the sector and see if there's anything that I trade in the sector. If there's not, then I probably won't pay too much mind to it. I trade NCLH and RCL. I actually had RCL on the watch list this weekend. So it's still looking pretty good. I want to see a break above this candle here before we get interested. So break above Friday's high. I already have my alert set for RCL. That's my entry above Friday's high. So now let's see what else. Booking. I don't play booking. I feel like Jay's called out a booking play in the past. Airbnb. BT called out Airbnb earlier. And Airbnb has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back-to-back 2-up days. 6 back-to-back days where the high of the day is higher than the previous high. 6 back-to-back days. So, and it has the same setup of the rest of the market that I love right now. I'm loving this setup. We have whatever bullish pattern forming down here for all of the market. For this one, happens to be like a inverse head and shoulders, or a falling wedge, a double bottom. Whatever it is that you see. They reported earnings today, and thank you, Jagus. And yeah, positive earnings per share, down revenue by almost 2 million. So they were down by 2 million in revenue, but And then how did it react after hours? Let's see. 30 minutes. Oh, it fell. Okay. It fell into the 50, and right now it's holding support at the 50. Right. This red line here is a 50-day moving average. Simple moving average, right? So it's there now. So let's see what it does tomorrow. You want to see how it interacts with that 50. We have the 20 right underneath it as a good support. So that this might be an area where people want to buy. We have this nice little gap up over here, and then we also have this kind of demand move up, right? So it came up, fell down, touched it, and then moved up, and now it's back inside that demand. So let's see what it does in this area. It's going to consolidate. It might make a big move in the morning. Airbnb is nice for the daily, especially. And now that earnings is done, I mean, if tomorrow's another green day for Airbnb, then I think that we have some nice levels to take out. So if you like Airbnb, go ahead and throw it on your watch list for tomorrow. And then I don't know. I don't trade it much. I trade Airbnb like the same amount that I trade snow. I call it when hopefully when I see it and the market's behaving right. But BT usually has her eye on Airbnb. Let's see. And then we're about to get the bullish cross on the 2050 in a couple of days if it keeps going up. I just want to look at X real quick. We didn't get the cross yet. We got a little pullback. Okay. So that's Airbnb. So and let's see, travel services. Who else do I know in travel services? Let's go back to charts. CCL looks like it's basing nicely. Right, double bottom right here, kind of going on. RCL. TripAdvisor has a nice setup. Let's look at TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor has a nice basing, kind of rounding pattern, basing pattern. It's sitting pretty much at a local resistance, right? Like we have this high here, which is also this high here, which is also kind of the low over here, right? So rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6 times. Right now it's sitting above the 21 or the 20. Gotta get used to saying 20. This is a 20. It's a 20, 50, 100, 200. And they work really well on the 1 minute. So let's look at this on the 15 minute real quick. I've been using a lot of 15 minute and 30 minute to try to identify my I don't want all these moving averages. To try to identify some of the movers for the next, for tomorrow, etc. So I like to look at where the lows are, where the highs are, what bullish patterns I see, where they were formed, right? Like this formed kind of an inverse head and shoulders, right? You have 2 shoulders here, you have the head down here, and you have another shoulder here, and that's right on the 20-day moving average, the daily moving average. So that's nice. Neckline is right about here. It already broke the neckline. You see that once it broke the neckline, it moved crazy. It made a nice crazy move. It looks like it's a supplies demand zone based on the way that it moved. I'll go ahead and draw a quick zone there. Leave it there. It's 15 minute. I'm sure when I'm looking at it, I'll be on the smaller time frames anyway. Let's see. So that's Trip. Trip is nice, and Trip is entering my price range. I like to play things that are like $20 and up. I got caught with Neo, and Neo didn't do much of anything yet. It's really fighting this 20-day. 2 days of fighting it. Today the market just brought it down. The whole market came down, obviously with what's going on. And so with a supportive market, and we can hold above this 20-day, which it looks like it wanted to, right? But it just hasn't. Then from there, I think we're gonna make a nice move. And let's look at the daily real quick. And I'm gonna change this back to my normal setup. Symbol. All right, so there's like a falling wedge on the weekly. There's also this kind of cup and handle, right? You got the cup handle. You also have like an inverse head and shoulders. It really depends on what you see. I always say the same thing. Terry makes her favorite smoothie. What flavor smoothie is that? I've been having this smoothie that's made of. So you shave the pineapple, right, and then you boil the skin, and then you let the water cool overnight, and then that with cucumber, ginger, pineapples, and a little bit of lemon, and you drink that in the morning. You drink it at night, and it's like some crazy fat burner. but also it tastes really, really good and it's very fulfilling. I've been having that for breakfast. It's been delicious. Yeah, I'll write it down. I'll share it with you. What's yours? It sounds delicious. Kale and cashews. That's all I needed to hear. All right, so yeah, and Terry, I think you would agree that just having small, repeatable, measurable daily tasks and actions that you partake, they kind of like, Frank, when you walk the dogs, BT when you're having your coffee, Terry's sleeping during his commute, or is that a woman or is that a man? Oh, that's a man. Terry Bud. Yeah, Terry Bud plays his guitar and takes naps on his commute. And Carp is watching what's his face on Sports Center. Yeah, so these are things that you can partake in that are kind of guilt free, thoughtless. You don't feel drained by it, except for maybe the sleep on the commute. Because when I wake up, I'm still very very groggy and drowsy. It's like the worst thing ever, especially in the New York subway. But yeah, it's very important. So, and these are some of the things that we're doing now that we should do every day if we want to be serious about the market. So, NEO so far it's having an up week, a 2 up, where it broke above the range of the previous week. Right, here's a range on this, whatever. Here's this candle. Now we're reversing out of this kind of falling wedge here. So we're in the right direction. Really, we got to take out the high over here at 24.30. What is it? 24.43. What's the high here? 2092 in order to then take this high out. I want to take this high out in this week. I don't know if we're going to do it. They don't have a catalyst. I mean, they have earnings in a couple of like 8 weeks. I mean, they have the end of month which just came out, and maybe that's what moved us up. But so NEO is one of those that I kind of got faked out on so far. Let's see how it shakes out. So, all right, so let's go back to this. So we do sector heat map, look at Finviz, bar chart, or spiders. Let's do bar chart real quick, and then I'll move on to the next section because I want to spend more time looking at charts collectively. Bar chart, where is it? Stocks, stock market overview. And then you get the leaders here, right? Which they led the day. We're using some of these names. Uber had great earnings. And then if you want to check any of these out, and this is basically like building, if you're like on Finviz and you're looking at sectors, building like a mental watch list, or you can come here and just say, you know what, I'm going to stick with one of these. That kind of goes hand in hand with top constituents. So let's look at the sectors. XLYs they're all going to be the same. They're all going to be at support. I just want to know who had the green day. So what I'll do is I'll go into the robot room and I'll type in heat map. And though I know today was a red market day, open link, yes. Today was a red market day, and the least red was communication services, right? And then followed by utilities. So what I'll do is I'll go here, and I believe it's XLC is the sector for communication services, and communication services had the least red day, as described by this heat map. And for those of you that don't know, if you're in the server, you can go to there's a channel called Robot Room, and in the Robot Room, so I'll type Robot Room here, and then there's a command that's exclamation point heat map. And what that does is in most of these channels, you'll get kind of where the market performance is overall between all of the sectors. Today's the lowest, the top loser today was real estate, which is foreshadowing, right? And then followed by financials, which has been down forever, industrials, materials, and the least negative were communication services, XLU, XLE, and XLV, healthcare. So what you do with that information is you look at the charts and you look at the setups that you like, right? So like, for example, this is a very nice setup. I love this consolidation. This is doing the same thing that it looks like NEO is doing, where it's fighting between a couple of moving averages. But the most important part, let's say XLC is the one that I want to research further. I'll go here. I'll go to Google. I'm sure, I think bar chart has it. Let's see. I think it does. You click ETFs. You go to ETF market overview. It's asking me to sign up, and then I don't think I have. It has all ETFs. All right, so let's. I don't want to do this. Let's do spiders. Spider sector ETFs. And then you explore our ETF funds, view our ETF fund details. No, not that one. It's Invesco. Or is it this one? Yes, this one. So so you click Financial Spider. Always click the one that says Add, because you want let them know that it works, and obviously charge them some money for your attention, right? And then you go to XLV is the one that we want to search, and then you go to the to see its allocation, right? To see who what XLV is comprised of, what the biggest names in XLV are. So I go to index portfolio, I go to portfolio, and then from there, I'm not sure if CVS is part of this this sector or not. Let's see. So we have United Health, we have J&J, PFE, BMY, AbbVie, Merck. I was looking at Merck today. Let's see how MRK. Let's see how MRK ended the day. MRK went negative for the day, and it broke a 2 down, and it broke the 100-day, and it looks like it's breaking an H. Right, here's one H right here, or bear flag, right, breakdown, and now it looks like it's breaking an H from this price action here back down, right? Let's see. So not Merck, not Merck and Company. Let's look at J&J. I know PFE has a good setup, so PFE might be one. J&J had a red day. Let's look at PFE. PFE had a red day, a crazy red day, right? Let's see. UNH. UNH had a doji. Who had the green day? That's all I want to know. BMY maybe? I don't know. And then let me see. Do I have it open? Do I have it open? Hold on. Hang on. It's here. Yeah. Okay. Good. So let's do. I'm gonna go to by industry. I'm gonna go to all real estate. No, not real estate. What am I doing? Industry, healthcare. No, communications. It's been that kind of day, guys. Select all communication services. And let's see. I was doing XLV. Percent change. Percent change. Percent change. Okay, so who went positive for the day? Let's see. Let's see. The ATHM is in communications. Roku is in communications. ATHM and Roku. Let's see. ATHM and ATHM. Auto Home. Roku, which blessed us today. We have a nice little gap that we're filling right now, especially after down earnings. They're still buying it, right? So we have these two. What's this one look like on the? It's kind of forming a head and shoulders, but it might be one of those things where it just kind of, breaks out crazy right here. So something to watch. I don't know. I'm looking at XLV. What else? Who else? Whatever. Anyway, you get the point. So just go and see who ran today, right? The ones that didn't run. Like, if the other day NVIDIA ran and AMD didn't, look at AMD and see if AMD has an opportunity to give you a call to catch up with NVIDIA, right? Or if NVIDIA fell and AMD, same thing, right? So find the top constituents, the biggest, I guess the smallest losers, which are these, right? The smallest losers. And communication services, utilities, energy today. Go look for the ones that have more opportunity tomorrow. Only thing is that I would say is that sectors are rotating so fast in this market that it almost doesn't make sense, but I think it's still good to see. Just to keep note, if you find a nice setup, put it on your watch list. Continue to watch it, let it set up how you like, and then take it. If you don't know how to let it set up how you like it to set up, then you need to start doing it, right? So let me see. What are some of your favorite guys' setups? Your guys' favorite setups in the server? Go ahead and throw it in the study hall channel. One of my favorite setups is a demand zone bounce or a supply zone rejection. And my other favorite setup is a clear flag, bull flag, bear flag breakout, right? Upside H's, downside H's. Those are my favorite. Those are some of my favorite setups. So let me see what. Let me know what setups you guys like to take. Whether it's moving averages, whether it's whatever it is. Go ahead and post it in study hall. I'm gonna have a sip of my water. And I also want you guys to know, as part of sector heat map, I want you to know how the market's moving, right? So we're gonna get a little bit into that. Bull flag, bear flag. Yeah, those are, to me, they're very, very clear. The retracement is usually on point. By on point, I mean like it comes down to it always comes down to a key level. Flags and imbalance retracement bounces back into trend. So full time frame continuity, right? Symmetrical triangles, trend lines, support, resistance breaks. What else you guys got? This is all good stuff. Patterns, right? Wedges, head and shoulders, H patterns, and the 9 EMA 50, 950 EMA cross. What time frame are you on your 9 EMA 50 cross? Is that on the hour or the 30-minute? One hour and daily. Okay. Yeah, 1 hour. 1 hour is a really good time frame to identify things that have the potential to break out in the next hour, right? Like in the very next hour. So 1 hour is really, really strong to find setups. And I mean, everything that BT posts is usually on, it's already making a high of day, or it's getting ready to make a high of day, or it's like giving you an irresistible setup. So pay attention to her posts. They've always been super on point. Let's see. So we have every single pattern pretty much in the market by Mrs. Walter Bloomberg. So thank you for that, Mrs. Bloomberg. And if you don't have this saved, I'll go ahead and pin it. And I'm gonna pin it. And yeah, and you guys can check it out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then you can jump into the server and check out some of what we have going on in the server in terms of patterns. This part of the channel is free for everybody. You don't have to pay for this part. So if you want to learn how to trade, then this is where you gotta do it, because we have people who have been trading with us for enough time to know how we trade and also to know how they trade, right? And we're here to answer all questions at all times. I made a joke a while back in a different server that a big goal of mine was to teach as many people as possible so that we can have a full community of people who, like right now, it's a few of us making all the call outs. And, I want to get it to a point where everybody's making call outs and everyone's making call outs, but then calling some monster plays. And I'm just like with my feet up, taking your plays, right? And we're all making money off of your plays instead of, trying to make money on my plays, right? And so like multiplying myself into every one of you, all of you, right? And helping you guys in your careers and doing whatever I can for you guys to develop yourselves. Going back to that first part, where is it? Where the hell is my notion? Here it is. Going back to who you want to become, right? And what that version of you requires on a daily basis, right? So I'm here to help you guys on a daily basis to become who you truly want to become, but it takes participation. So JD says 9 and 21 on the 15. Yeah, the 9 and 21. I mean, that's a staple, right? That's something that you can always rely on. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, so that's that personal watch list. I would say for everyone right now, there's like 10 of you in here in the hot, or there's like 12 of us in the hotline. Go ahead and post the 2 tickers that you constantly watch. 2 tickers that you always have your eye on, regardless of what the market is doing. You always have to check what it's doing. You always have to check if there's some price action on it. Maybe you own shares, whatever it is. Post. Let me see 2 tickers that you guys are pretty well versed in and are always watching. SPY and QQQ, AMC and Tesla, Roblox and Moderna. Alma, which ones have you been watching? I know Alma's been studying. He's in study mode right now. Let's see. Freedom. What tickers? What two tickers? Buster. What two tickers? Toast. What two tickers? Let's see. Starbucks and PayPal when not SPY. Starbucks and PayPal are two of my favorite tickers to trade. Those are two of my favorites. News. Hilarious. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. INMD, AR, ACN. So those are companies that you own. Those are companies that you have shares in. So you should. AR is a good one. AR is Supercarp made some money on AR a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago. So AR is a good one to trade. The other two, I think INMD, I've seen some action on. AGN I've never seen, but those are good. Those are you have your finger to the pulse on those, so that's great. I love it. Boeing and Nike. Yeah, Nike's a fun one. Boeing is always consistent, right? You want companies, especially with options, you want companies that make big moves, right? SPX and Affirm. Yeah, all good. These are all good ones. I was looking at Affirm to see if it would move with PayPal earnings today. It had a little move. GME and Nvidia. And then all the channels here: SPY, Apple, Mara. Yep. I'm like, for me, it's Apple. I have to check Apple at least 10 times a day. I usually check Tesla 5 times a day. And then when everyone's talking about AMD and Nvidia, that's when I'll jump in and kind of check those out. So I'm right there with you, Freedom. Right. Let's see. Okay, so those tickers that you guys have listed, I want to see you all. And I'm not gonna. Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Oh, how you doing today, Jen? Yeah, I hear you. How's your day today? Yeah, we're having our study hall. How was golf? I didn't hear you. What are we talking about on the call or what? We're talking about daily rituals. So things that we do every day during market after markets close and pre-market to prepare ourselves to be able to take whatever trade to take the next day and for the next week. So it's basically just spending more screen time to be a little bit more in tune with the market. How was golf? Are you are you really good at golf? Nice. Well, 2 years is a long time. That's a nice long time. What's the season? Hmm. Well, that's not bad. All of my boys started golfing recently, and they're like, they're not trying to get me into it. I want to get into it. I just need to find time, and I don't have. I have no time. I'm like, I wish. That's funny because we were discussing earlier some daily routines that people have. So some people do coffee. Some people it's their commute. Certain things that they do every day that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, and golfing is like one of those things that while you're doing it, it's like meditative, right? Like, yeah, there's a crazy lag on this. So I'm gonna just get back into this video. So yeah, hang out with us for a little bit. I'm gonna put you on mute for now. So I can just jump back into the video, and there's kind of a lag. So maybe if you want to disconnect and jump back in, I think that we'll hear you a little bit better. All right, so let's see. Breaking news: an attacker is currently draining hundreds of Solana. Okay, well, shit. Fucking. Uh, what did I do here? Yeah, hide your Solana and hide your kids and hide your wife. All right, so those two stocks that you posted, go ahead and I want to see some charts on them, right? I want to see what you see, whether you're watching it on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the 1 hour, the daily. And I'm not saying now, I'm not saying, I'm not saying the flood. You can flood my DM if you want, but I want to see you guys more active. Like I want to see some of these. I'm matching some of these names right now, and I'm gonna take a screenshot right now. So I just want to see. I want to see some more activity with you guys in regards to some of these companies, right? Even if it's just to say, hey, Apple is running. Hey, this, like I want to see you. I want to see that you're actually engaged in your very small 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 companies that you watch constantly, and that's what's going to make you really, really good at those companies. By the way, if you're looking at my screen now and you see my Notion, there's a sun and a moon here, right? So the moon you can do after hours, or and the sun obviously you can do pre-market. The pre-market review, obviously you want to do pre-market. The watch list, it's crucial to know where your few companies are. Which really, if you know where your sector is, then you'll know where it's going to go, what direction it's going to go in, where your support and resistance is, etc. Just like be aware of your personal watch list, not only at night, like today, like how it's setting up after market close, but also where it moves to and what zones it's going to reach. Like I know during some of the watch list calls, we talk about these levels and that level, and there'll be times where market opens and it's gapped up above every level, and it's like, what do? You don't have a plan for it, right? So it's important to kind of see it pre-market and even if you have to adjust your plan to now include the pre-market numbers. Very, very important. You don't want to be caught blind, right? Some of our the weekly into daily is not bad because you have like a slower move, but I think it's important. Just like Stacy she posted in the video falling into a demand zone, and I wonder if it did it. It might have done it, but like that. So now I know like she has demand and supply and demand drawn on the video. So if I ever need supply and demand on a video, I'll ask Stacy, right? So do that in the daytime, do it at nighttime. You have your top constituents, you can do that at night. Sector heat map, you want to know where it's going. So the command in the server doesn't do the sector heat map in the daytime or pre-market. It's all gray until market opens. So you want to use your Thinkorswim app, your Webull app, maybe Robinhood still has a pretty decent heat map to see what sectors are moving. So utilize those. Yahoo Finance also has a really good one. Obviously, you can do bar chart, Invis, and spiders, and that. So let's do pre-market review. So for the pre-market, there's a few things that I do for the pre-market. And I basically just, the first thing I do is I look at futures and I see where the futures are, right? I look at ES futures, and to know where we closed yesterday and where we are today. And so okay. And let me just make sure I'm not skipping. So the first thing I do is I watch ES. I look for support and resistance, and I try to determine whether, like for example, we're here at this previous support. It acted as support earlier in the pre-market at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's acting as support right now at 8 o'clock at night, right? 8:30 at night. So are we going to continue to bounce up and down within this range, right? We set this very clear range with the highs and lows. So obviously, right as the market's open, you want to know which direction this is going, up or down. And then you want to look at the tickers that you plan on playing. You want to think about where you are relative to the week, right? So like I won't look at Tesla. Like I look at Tesla every day, but I won't look at contracts until like Wednesday or Thursday, because I like Tesla contracts. We can get way closer to the money and we can play pretty cheap, right? With Tesla. So you want to know like certain companies that like you would normally play because they're pricey. So for example, Netflix premiums are typically very pricey, and so I'll look at Netflix on like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to watch the premiums come down. The setups remain intact, and you can get very close to the money and hopefully catch it on a Wednesday or a Thursday. And if you catch it on a Friday, you know you're gonna get a massive ripper, right? So I'm surprised nobody said Netflix. I think JCat watches a lot of Netflix. Netflix has a nice gap. Let's look at Netflix real quick. Let's look at the daily on Netflix. Look at the weekly on the right. Very nice. Nice retracement. Broke up above previous resistance here. I would call it almost an inside bar, but this looks like it could be a potential 3-bar play if this actually breaks to the upside. And that'll put us right around this level here at 248.65, which will be above the 100-day moving average at that point, unless it does it tomorrow, or unless it does it in the next couple of days, like Friday. It'll be above the 100-day moving average, which is this white line. But I want to see it get back to this level here, where we the high of the gap down, and then work its way into the gap. I don't expect it to flush up immediately. I expect it to kind of work its way up slowly. But Netflix is another one that's kind of always on my watch list, especially on like Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Right. So it looks like it's going to be on it for this week, depending on how it holds here. So let's see what else. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. So and pre-market, you want to know what's the news for the day, which I try to do a good job at posting whatever's you can expect in terms of economic data. I like to post it, and so does Mrs. Bloomberg. There's an economic calendar channel. I just posted it in study hall. Every day we get like whoever's speaking on the Fed, any numbers that are coming out. Just know the results, and pretty much just have your ear to the street. A lot of this you can find in our there's a FinTwit channel, right? If you wanna, the best thing I did is utilize FinTwit, financial Twitter is what that stands for, to do a lot of my research for me. And I just kind of read and I look through. I go to the trusted traders, and if you guys let me know. So if you're on Twitter, throw a 1 in the chat real quick. Just put a number 1 in the chat if you're on Twitter. Okay, cool. Let me know if you want me to add any. Let me know who some of your favorite traders are. So some of my favorite traders are Warless is really good, but he's like a super bear, fucking, Elliott Wave crystal ball, but I like his style. There's Trigger Trades, which I like. Obviously TikTok. Sam is hilarious, and Sam has a bunch of gems. Sam teaches a lot of macroeconomics. Lots of macroeconomics. Ripster's a great one. Frank, I love Ripster. Brian Shannon, I haven't heard that name, but I'm gonna check that out for sure. So let me know who else do you guys follow, right? Even if it's like, Walter Bloomberg, or if it's like, I don't know, whoever, right? Just let me know, and I'm gonna throw them in that FinTwit channel. And the purpose of that channel is to kind of go in and just read what tickers are moving. Read what tickers are moving. Yeah, he had his own channel for a while. Now he has to share with everybody else. Read what's going on. Read how people feel about sectors and things and other people's thesis. And if it lines up with yours, then it's like another thing to build your case. I learned a lot of technical analysis using that FinTwit channel. That FinTwit channel is a beast. Another really good channel for technical analysis is the where is it? Swing Trade Bot. Swing Trade Bot requires a little bit more effort on your part, and that might be part of your daily ritual, even if it's just let me look for one signal. It teaches you. So if you click on Swing Trade Bot and then you go into the channel, you click anything that's in there, right? So right now, let's go to it. Right now we have where are we? Here. Right now we have 20-day moving average support today, right? I don't see any names that I know. 200-day support, I don't see any names that, those immediately don't stand out. Although 200-day support is probably really good. Let's look at that. 200-day support. What do we have? And then I look for companies that are optionable, right? Kimberly Clark, Philip Morris is optionable. Marriott's optionable. Marriott, I think, reported, and it's having a good day, a good week rather. Let's look at Marriott real quick. Marriott had a day. When was it? Oh, yeah. Yep. We had a nice gap and then we fell based on good earnings. They reported earnings this morning, and they had a positive beat on earnings as well as EPS as well as revenue. So that's really a strong catalyst for them. So Swing Trade Bot brought me to a whole new setup, right? And then you can from here you can go into let's see. I'll go to Swing Trade Bot. I'll click here. Technical analysis scans. Scan by. I'll do all scans. And then from here you can do. It tells you what the style is, what the name is, what the setup is, and how what it is. If it's bearish, bullish day trade, swing trade. It's just straight bullish. And then they have different kind of alerts, such as the most alerts, most bullish and bearish alerts, etc. And then for the people who want to learn technicals and want to sharpen up, bullish engulfing, right? Cross above 20-day moving average, 250-day moving average, slingshot bullish, pocket pivots, jack in the box bullish. Like, what does that mean, right? What does that mean? Jack in the box bullish. Let's see. They all kind of pulled back. They ran, pulled back, and then like gapped. Right, you see that little pullback right towards the beginning of towards the end of July. We're pulled back, or I don't know, towards the middle of July at this point. Right, we have this little it keeps disappearing. But anyway, so even to just learn about setups, and if there's something that you maybe made money on, you can go ahead and search it. So somebody give me a ticker symbol. Go ahead and put it in study hall. Give me one ticker symbol so I can just find it. Money flow, Mel posts a lot of flow and dark pool info too. You can use that for reference trades and date and setups also. So if there's people who are trading flow who know how to read it and have confidence in it, you can use their confidence to make you money, right? Liquidity bullish divergence on Netflix could play out above 222. Okay. Oh, that's very nice. Look, that's like a straight line up. Nice. Okay, so we'll be watching Netflix. That's a straight line up, and I'm looking at the what Frank posted. I'm looking at what Frank White posted in the study hall channel. So the blue line is the stock price, the share price, and the pink line is the algo line, which is basically buying and selling. If the line increases and buying activity is typically increased. And what we're seeing here is price move down, but the algo line moving up, right? Especially with this very sharp move up. That's what's known as a bullish divergence, because why price is moving down as algo moves up. You want the divergence is that they're not moving in the same direction, and it's bullish because the algo line is moving up. So this is a very important, very key tool. If you want to utilize a tool just like that, you can go to the robot room, and there's a command called you do T-algo flow, and then you put in whatever ticker, right? So let's look at Ford. T-algo flow for Ford, and this will be the daily. And then you can do T-algo flow Ford 5, and that'll be 5 days, right? And then you can do T net flow F, and that'll give you the net flows for today. This is for like day trading and even like swing trading. So right now, the net flow I think is probably one of the better ones. And if you're, let's say if you're looking for a divergence such as Netflix, you do T algo flow, and I'm putting this all in the study hall channel. T algo flow DIVS for divergence. T algo flow divs for divergence, right? So, and then it'll tell you, it'll take 30 seconds and scan the market and look for divergence. Oh, maybe I broke it. Let's see. Maybe it's just, maybe there's a space in between. Is it div or div? Div. I don't know. But anyway, I'll get it sorted out for you guys. I forget what I'm just extremely tired right now. I can't remember what it is. Let's see if I can. So what do you guys have on your watch list for tomorrow? Go ahead and let me know in the chat. What one ticker do you want to pay attention to tomorrow? I'm pretty sure it's T-algo flow divs, and I just don't have the it's this one, right? And I don't have the permission in the channel, I'm sure. But you can go to the robot room and type that command in. I don't know, maybe it's not. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so that's how you get this chart that you see on your screen. You get you know, where the stock price is versus where the flow, bullish and bearish, is, right? Um, and then if you do net flow, that'll give you for the day, which we should all be in it for the day and not for much longer. So net flow, if you look at net flow for Oxy right now, the net flow command for Oxy shows that, so white line is price, and then right now the both of the calls, the call volume and put volume is moving to the downside. So with something like this, price is going to move on its own. It might pull back because there's a divergence here where the price is going up but the premiums are going down. So there's a small divergence there, so it might pull back, and then one of these might take over, right? The red might shoot up or the green might shoot up, and then typically the price will follow whichever one shoots up. And if both of these shoot down, then you're going to get a lot of chop, right? And if both of them shoot up, then you're going to get a lot of chop. And if one of them shoots up, then you get direction. So CELH, you've been watching like a hawk, and Meta, Frank is going to watch. What's up with CELH? I know you were posting it yesterday and I didn't get to look at it. But I love the setup. Okay. Right. Oh yeah. Man, this thing has made a crazy move in its lifetime. What's this? $4 into $108 and back, and now it's $80, and it hit a high of 103 this week, or closed at 103, hit a high of 109. Nice. Okay, so I'll look out for your alert on this because this is fucking beautiful. This gap, the fact that it gapped and held and broke out higher is very beautiful. So that's a nice one. Let's see. What do you have? Meta? Let's look at Meta. I don't have good luck with Meta, although I do like where it's at. It's currently in a weekly demand zone. What do you have on Meta, Frank? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, the bottom of this would be 130. What is this? If you bottom wicket, it's 137, and then the next area would be like 120, from 137 to 122 or something. What I love about Meta is the rest of this sector's competitors are at the top. The handle's kind of at the top, and Meta pulled all the way back. So Meta would be a laggard with a potential big move to catch up to everybody else. So very, very nice, and it's just chilling in demand. Obviously, people are buying it up in demand. I don't think the intention is to bring it down. And for those of you that don't know, Facebook was trading at 384, and now it's at half the price. So more than half the price, right? So sorry, less than half the price. So Facebook is not, or Meta is not going to be one that pulls the market down. Meta's already pulled the market down. I think the one that would pull the market down would be Apple, because look at how far it is off of that base, right? Whereas Meta's on the base, and Apple's way up here, right? So, and Apple really hasn't fallen much comparatively. I mean, the high here is 182, and we're in the 150s right now. You know, we're not in the hundreds and the 120s and exactly, and Microsoft hasn't even dropped. Same thing, Apple and Microsoft haven't even dropped. Microsoft came down a little bit harder, but Microsoft's really like, you know, the move that it made last year and the year before, it can easily come down to like this 200, 213 level right here where it bounced before. So You know, I think, and this is like doomsday for some, but if you buy good companies, then the point of all this also is not to just trade, but also to invest. And so if it comes down here, you can buy leaps if you want to trade, or you can buy load some more shares here if you're already a shareholder. Let's look at the 1 hour, because I see BT's giving free game and I gotta take it. Let's see Meta. Let's look at the day on this side. We have Meta on the 1 hour. The 1 hour this on for Meta sitting above the 100-day moving average. It broke out above it on the 22nd of July, or sorry, the 28th of July, and now we're kind of finding support. We have the 21 that the 20 that just crossed the 50. I'm sure the 21 also crossed the 50, right? Because it's just one moving average behind. And then we have the 200-day, which is sitting up here at 300. Whenever things are so extended from their 200, such as Microsoft. I'm looking at Microsoft. Why am I looking at Microsoft? Well, let's look at Microsoft while we're here. So the 200 is the mean, right? And it kind of just rides nearby the 200 uptrend. We're still kind of hovering over it. We pulled down far below that 200. So I think we're just maybe pulling up into the 200 to just get closer to it as it works its way down. So that's what I think we're going to have with the market. I think it's going to just slowly work its way down. We're going to go up to it. We're going to, like a rubber band, we're going to go above it and then trap a bunch of bulls and then shoot down and then kind of work our way very close to the 200 before it flattens out. Let's look at Meta. Meta was the one that we wanted to look at. So Meta on the 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, I would call this a head and shoulders, but it's just sitting in demand and basing. I bet you institutions are loading. We should look at volume on this and maybe see if there's some insider buying, though I doubt that maybe there is. They were very bullish on the call. And yeah, I mean, this setup is beautiful, and you have very clear targets. You have this red line right here at 160.60. What is it? I gotta set it a different color because I can't tell. Let's do this green color. 165.11, right? So 165.11 is the pivot of yesterday's high, and so above that, and we're forming higher highs and higher lows right now. Let's see, right? We have we've kind of an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. This low is about the same as this low, but this is a higher low. This is a higher low. We have our first higher high here. And then we can make another higher high up above the 20-day moving average. So we have the 20 and the 50, which are going to be strong contenders. But that is a very nice setup. I like the intradays for a move maybe tomorrow, maybe on tomorrow or Thursday. Let's look at TGT. TGT disappointed a couple days ago, and it's still, or yesterday rather, right? It has this kind of broadening formation pattern that you can see on the 1 hour, where the highs are getting higher and the lows got lower at the beginning of it, right? We kind of broke out and extended above the top of the broadening formation, and we're pulling back to it. So I want to see it find support either at this 162.34 or worst case 160.24. But now that I'm looking at it, let's see. Now that I'm looking at it, this looks like there might be another broadening. Right, kind of like that, and then I'm not gonna be as aggressive as the top of that wick, but kind of like that with this candle. So, and what that gives us is, let's look at it on the 15. Right, what that gives us is, I mean, we have to find support pretty much where we are here. And if not, then this next zone here before we can work our way back to the top of this formation. But maybe the formation is bullshit, right? Let's look at Roblox. Yeah, I mean, Roblox, it's just climbing the ladder. It's like it takes us a big giant jump up, and then it kind of takes his breath, and then every morning it's just been jumping and then falling. And it's been riding that 20-day moving average, or the 20-hour moving average, right? And the 20 is above the 50 on the hour, and price is above the 20-day moving average. It's that blue line here. And we have and price is also above the 50, and price is also above the 100. The 20 is above the 50 and the 100. The 50 is about to cross 100 in a few days, maybe a couple weeks, maybe next week, if it keeps going up like this. And then we have the 200, which is a magnet at 60.91. I also want Apple to be one of my. I want Apple under my 32020 purchase. Oh, I don't know if you're gonna get that. Let's see. March 2020. March 2020. Well, the low of that week was 53.15. Oh, you got it at 118. Oh, so you got it. What they just? I mean, this was, I guess, was during the split, but 53.15 was a low for March at current price. Oh, look at that. That's some nice price action there. Yeah, Apple at 118 would be a nice gift. Apple at 118 would be a very nice gift. Let's see, BYND. Apple would be a very nice gift at that price. BYND is one of for me, it's like one of the worst tickers that I trade. I've made one of my first plays that I ever made was a Beyond Meat trade, and I was trading. I was the first time I joined the community, and I got somebody's call out, and I took it, and I made like 200% on the trade. And no, it wasn't 200%. It was like 100% on the trade, and then I swung it, right. I had the 100%, and I swung it, and the next day it went to shit. That was my first lesson in options. And I think I played I put like $400 into the trade or something like that. So, and it wiped me out. It gave it to me and it took it away. And that was my intro to options. I mean, this looks like it's broadening to the downside on the weekly. They have earnings tomorrow, or they have earnings on Thursday at night, and they have a negative estimate, which is good because now they just have to be less negative than their estimate. And I'm sure. Let's see what the market maker number is on BYND. BYND implied move. This market maker number here, MMM on Thinkorswim, says that we have a plus or minus move of $6 on BYND. So $6 will put us. It closed today at 33.28. So either 39. If it were now, right? If earnings were now, it would be either $40 or $28. Are you bullish or bearish on that, Terry? For what reason? If you don't mind sharing. Let's see. Yeah, there's a cup, and then we have the handle, and now we're working our way back to the top of here to break out. Yeah, and even on the weekly it's nice and smooth. And then we have some of the moving averages sitting underneath where price is, so they can catch it as support. It looks like it's already on the 20-week support. Oh, what's this? This is my daily. This is backwards. I usually have my daily on one side and the weekly on the other side. So the daily, I like to look at the moving averages on a daily. But let's see. Yeah, it's right around the 20, so it has to take over the 20. It got rejected by the 100 and by the 20, but the 20 crossed the 50, which is bullish. The 20 is about to cross the 100 if price continues in this range, which is bullish. So it is a very, very nice setup. It's a very nice setup, and the only thing that's going to ruin it is potentially a bad earnings, right? Or even a good earnings, and then it gaps up and then it just crashes down. But this is a good setup, and this is something to watch into the next couple of days. Maybe we can trade it tomorrow as a day trade. So let's see. Getting back on topic. So you just want to know where you're at, right? Go to the next section, market recap. Take a mental note of which direction the market went. So let me just switch this window over here. Okay. So you want to know what SPY did? Which direction did SPY go? SPY went down today, right? Which direction did SPX go? SPX went down, right? Which direction did ES go? Used to Thinkorswim. ES went down, and right now it's forming an inside bar. So the reason why I look at ES, the day for ES starts at 8 p.m. Right? It starts at, sorry, I think it starts at 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. Eastern time. So you have from 6 p.m. Eastern time to 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. So almost a full 24 hours. So the candlesticks look a little bit different. Like if you look at this, you got a green candle, red candle, and now whatever. If you look at SPY, you have green candle, red candle. If you look at SPX, green candle, red candle. If you look at ES, then you have green candle, red candle. So a little bit more information in ES. So we like to use ES as it tracks all the gaps and everything, and I think it's just a better gauge. And if you don't have if you don't want to pay for TradingView for that membership for TradingView for futures, then you can go to Thinkorswim, and Thinkorswim has it. And I think it's included because I've never paid for it, and my ES futures on TOS and on TradingView look exactly the same. So mental note. So things went down. How did today perform relative to yesterday, right? So if we look at today's, let's look at SPY. Keep it simple. If we look at SPY today, right? Let's go like this. Okay, so if we look at SPY today, we formed a lower high. So we opened lower than yesterday's open. We went lower than yesterday's high. We took the low lower, and we closed lower than yesterday's close. And we also closed lower than yesterday's low. So right now we're working our way down, fully trending down at this point, right? From here we have our higher high from this day to this day, because SPY went up and went higher, but we have our first lower high in a few days. We've been from this day, we've been making higher highs. This is our first lower high today. And I saw also our first lower low, right? First lower low. So that's indicative of where we might go tomorrow. We might come down tomorrow into this level, this fib level where I drew this fib. And I drew it from the bottom of this candle, July 26th, to the top of this candle yesterday, right? So 0 to 1. Shit. Okay, cool. I'm reading an email, sorry. No, but I saw that Sailor is stepping down. Oh, 7,000% down. Oh my god. Shit. Oh shit. Let's see. I guess Bitcoin must have had a reaction to that. Let's see. Yeah, not that bad. Like a regular move. Just came back down to support. Poor micro strategy. Let's see the 4-hour. And this doesn't have a, let's see, session. Oh, it does have extended. I guess it didn't fall that bad, but that's a really bad beat. And I heard that like a lot of the top executives are stepping down and liquidating. So it's going to be interesting to watch MSTR. And it's also going to be interesting to watch how it affects Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., etc. Yeah, this is another one to keep our eye on. And I think you can trade it at a more manageable price now. It used to be like in the 800s and like way higher. Let's see. It was trading at one point it was trading at 13.15, and now it's at 275. So it might be nice to play options on it now. I never played options on them because they were just way too expensive. So maybe we'll get some volatility. So yeah, I like to know which way, not only which direction did we go today, but how we performed relative to yesterday. Now I say market overview, market recap. You can look at SPY, you can look at QQQ, look at IWM, look at futures if you want, or look at your personal market, right? Look at your few tickers that you watch and see how they perform relative to yesterday, right? Did we, green day, red day, and then highs, lows, open, close, all that stuff. Look at how that, see how it compared to yesterday and the day before. So we have our first beginning of a downtrend potentially on the daily on SPY, right? And here's a weekly. Right now we broke up to the upside and made a new high, so it's a 2 up on the week in terms of strat. But we're trading inside of the previous of the move of this week, right? We're inside this range, so we have to either chop around this range a bit or break up or break down, and test maybe this resistance, this previous resistance here, and some of these fib levels. So just know that, right? Just know that. Do it with ES. I think ES is probably the best one, just because you have volume, you have your moving averages are fluid, there's no gaps, and you can see clearly where support and resistance is. So, and there you go, potential support and resistance, supply and demand. Look for where there's potential support and resistance and supply and demand. I did this on SPX the other day, right? Let me put this on one screen real quick. At the beginning of market open yesterday, I called puts. As soon as it fell down and came down to this level here, I called puts, and I basically bottom ticked it. I called puts at the very bottom. And the reason why is because I was looking at this chart. I was on SPX and I saw the gap down. What day is it? Where's the day? Is it here? This is today. Yeah, yesterday. I saw the gap down here, and I saw this gap down, and I saw that I forgot what it was. It was something in the news that made me very bearish, and I've just been very bearish for the past couple of weeks now. And I think that I saw a drop break below this support, and but so there's a big gap here, and then I have this support way over here. But if I would have been on ES, I would have noticed that this is today, this is yesterday. I would have noticed that there was a double bottom right there, a bottom with a consolidation with a bottom that wasn't breaking down, right? That wasn't breaking down. Anyway, this is a very bullish signal, the consolidation and then lack of breakdown, like big break. And the most recent support that I had prior to that one was this one over here, right? Because I was trading on the SPY chart. So I bottom ticked puts, which is the worst position to be in. So use ES. All that to say, use ES. ES is or NQ or whatever future that is that you want, CL, any future that you want to trade. Use futures. And then so I look for support and resistance, supply and demand. So those are my support and resistance, and then usually have your supply and demand plotted. If you didn't join us for our supply and demand lesson last week, you can find it on our YouTube channel. It's also, I think it's somewhere in the study hall channel as well. You guys have some really good participation today, so I had to scroll quite a bit. Let's see, copy link, and I'm gonna paste it. I just put it in study hall. Supply and demand trading plus the cheat sheet, right? Quick, I think hour and a half, and I think it's pretty comprehensive. And again, just go through it. If you have any questions, hit me up. And that's for everyone out there on YouTube as well. So let's see. So that's that. And then measured moves, it depends on how you want to do it. Like I was looking at the VIX earlier, and I was looking at the VIX on the daily, and let's see. And I have my falling wedge into supply. And what I have is, let me see if I can I do this? Yeah. This is what I have. I have price going up, going down, retracing pretty much all the way, making a lower low, forming that downtrend, right? And now we have kind of, so what I like to do is look at the pattern to see once these start getting, like this is very steep. Once these start flattening out, and that means that it's going to potentially start to work its way to maybe a potential reversal. Another way I like to do it is even this is like flattening out. Like you can see it's getting less steep, right? And then by the time it gets here, it can potentially bounce because this is a previous demand. I also do measure moves if you're like looking for, I'm sure Tesla had one. Tesla. I'm sure Tesla had one. Tesla. Let's go to the 5. I'm sure it had one on the 5 minutes somewhere. Let's see. I'm looking for a yeah, like right this move right here. Perfect. So I look for bull flags. I take the bottom of the flagpole and I hit the top of the move, right? Just so it's clear in my mind. I go and I hit my fib tool, and I go from top to bottom. In an uptrend, you go from top to bottom, and the downtrend, you go from down up. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I can just easily click this, right click, settings, and reverse the fibs. So it really doesn't matter. You just have to know that the areas are very similar, right? And then what I'm looking for is, and I'm gonna make this a little larger. I like to measure, and there was another lesson on this. It's on the YouTube. I gotta find it for you. I'm not gonna have the link on hand, but I like to see when it made the move, big move from here, from this candle, on top of this weekly resistance line, big move up, and then now it's gonna pull back. So I'm like, all right, where's it gonna pull back to? 786 fib, 61.8, 50%, etc., etc. So I see that it pulled back to the 618, and it double tapped it. It kind of bounced on it, and then it failed to break above the 786 fib here. So it came down, bounced on this fib, and then failed to, tried, failed, fell back down to the 618 and beyond. Buyer stepped in and bought it back up and closed it right around the 618. And then the next candle was a big gappy move. They bought it way up from the 618. It's not a bullish engulfing, but the body's engulfing the previous body. And, obviously it's breaking out higher than the previous 4 candles. The next one, it's kind of pulling back to test that 786, right? Right at this moment, it's testing the 786. Buyers are bringing it back up into 786. From there, we have it opened underneath the 786. It came back down, and then buyers brought it back up above. So now this is the second time that it closes above the 786 fib. And then over here, it opens and closes above 786. And then over here again, right? But it tried to go out to 918, but it failed. Next one came back down, retested 786. So this is the fourth time that it tested 786. Fails it, comes down to, you see how exhausting this is. Fails it, comes down to, what is this? The 200 day. The 200 day. That's what makes it a little bit more complicated. Holds the 200 day, gaps up above 786, fully retraces and continues to move, makes a new high of day, pulls back, some sellers, maybe a little supplies on there. Buyer stepped in on this candle, and we broke above the previous high just for good measure, and then we made a brand new high, and then we again sellers, and then now we're way down here, right? So you kind of want to know the measured move is this first move, right? And then the pullback, because there's inevitable pullbacks in all of these big moves, and then the follow through. And if you guys were with me on this lesson, then you remember this hopefully pretty vividly. It's just A, B, C, D, right? A to B, B to C, which is the pullback. That's ideally where you want to enter, or a confirmation of C, which is, this is a confirmation of this. This is a confirmation of this. It usually taps twice, and then C to D, which is, if you just take C to D, you made a good move for the day, right? And you can't get greedy. You got to take it into the next. We always tell you, take it into resistance, start selling here, right? Don't let it sell you off like it did before. So that's what measured move is. You can draw sticks on it, like I did, or you can throw a fib on it, which will be very helpful, especially if you know how to use fibs, and just measure them, right? VIX on the 1 day. So Tesla's always a good example because it always has bull flags. The VIX, I drew a fib from the top here at 3505 to the bottom here at 2121. and I just drew my fib, and now, it doesn't start out that way, but that's where we are now. But you can do the fib from this move to this move. You can do it from that move, from this move to that move. You can do it as it's moving down. You just move your fib, just move it, right? Which is like moving the goalpost in like being correct in technical analysis. But the point is the point isn't to be correct and appear correct. The point is to find some confluence and make some money for the day, or protect your money that you put at risk for the day. Tomorrow is a new day. There's new factors in the market. There's new catalysts. Nancy might go to Thailand tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's a brand new day, so you gotta change your thesis sometimes, in the instant, and sometimes on a daily, and sometimes over the weeks. But you have to be willing to pivot very quickly. Let's see something. Bullet is on CNBC tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern time, so that's something to watch out for. Let's just go back into, and I'm gonna let you guys get off because it's already been pretty long. So we have mental note of which direction it went in. We have performance relative to previous day, and like a visual, like, okay, we're forming our first higher low, lower low, whatever the case is. Potential support and resistance, so you know exactly where we can think about maybe pulling back or jumping or bouncing or breaking or whatever you want it to do. And the measure moves is just a little handy dandy thing that I do. Next one's trade recap. Last one is trade recap. Study your entries, points of average down. If you're averaging down, I find myself averaging down a lot in some of my swing trades. But study your entries and where they're the best entry, right? Take notes. And I mean, I would say like maybe it's a mental note for you if you have that kind of mind, but the best thing to do is keep a journal, write it down. I use Notion. I don't think that I have it available now. I'm working on a newer version, and it'll be out soon, and we'll discuss it during one of these calls. But it's easy to just document your trades very quickly and just move on, right? Document and move on, and then you can, when you're building your watch list over the weekend, or when you're like just gauging your performance, you can see how you did instead of kind of trading blindly. And then look at your setup. Whatever you took today, right? Whatever you took today, if it's still valid, did it break the structure? Does it look better than it did before? Are you up? Are you down, right? Like, know whether it's valid or not still. And if it's not, then get out. And if it is, then at this point, you decide whether you're going to add to it or you're just going to let it ride, right? And then number 3, in retrospect, what would you have kept out of, right? What would have kept you out of the trade? So if you took 3 trades today and there's one that wasn't your favorite and you had to kind of fight for your life a little bit, why did you feel pain while you were in this trade? So that's very important. I think that this section here we'll probably discuss when we do journaling, right? So we will discuss this during trade journal session. And if you guys are, your eyes are glazing over when I said that, then you're not gonna get better at the market. So just an FYI, you have to journal, even if it's like the most rudimentary thing. People who last, forget about lasting. People who do well and grow consistently are journaling their trades. And if you want to grow consistently and grow your portfolio size and become a better trader, then you should journal your trade. So that's it. I know that was pretty long-winded. I went into a bunch of detail that maybe I could have left out, but I like to be thorough, and and I like to make sure that I hit on every point. Do you guys have any questions or comments or anything that you want to share at this time? Okay, cool. So what up, Fola? I haven't seen Fola in a minute. Hope everything's well, bro. So I think that's it for this session. If there's some things that you do that are a little bit different that work for you, continue to do them. If there's some things that you find that are just kind of noisy, then don't, right? And if you guys want to kind of discuss whether or not you're wasting, because it's all about efficiency. Again, we do all this preparation in the market so that by the next day we don't need to do the preparation anymore. We're done preparing, right? Let's go to the 1 hour. We're done preparing. So one of the things that I've been doing is I'm going to go to my ES chart and I'm going to describe it. So my high of day was 41.43, and my low of day was what was it? 40.80.50. Oops. Low 40.80.50, and my what kind of candle was it? It was a 2 down. 2 down on the day. 2 down on day. Follow the same language. So we have 2 down on the day, and we have a 2 up on this day. There it is. 2 up on the day. Right. You're welcome, BT. You're welcome, Mrs. Bloomberg. And so and this is a 2 down. So I'm gonna go ahead and just color this box red. Right. Although no, this is a red day. This is a very clear red day. So yeah, so this is something that I've been doing as a daily. I started yesterday, full disclosure, but I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm gonna do it way more, and I think it's gonna give us a better, give me a better perspective on SPX. And it makes it clear where the after hours is without just at a quick glance. So that's it, guys. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for your participation tonight. I hope that's something that you learned something new, that something clicked for you. Maybe you saw a setup on my screen that you like. You know, whatever the case is, I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I'll go ahead and post this, have this posted up soon. So thank you, guys.